Hello and welcome to this video. I'm really excited about this one. We're going to be unboxing and setting up the new Ring Doorbell 3. So big thank you to Ring for sending me the Ring Doorbell 3 to check out. If you've watched other videos on the channel, you've seen I've reviewed quite a few Ring products. I'm a really big fan of them. Myself, I've got various stick-up cameras and spotlight cameras and the original Ring Doorbell, which is what I'm going to be replacing with this. So let's take a little look at what we have inside. One thing I will say is the content to this box may or may not be the same content to what happens in the final release. But let's go through things and take a look. So the main kind of things about the new Ring Doorbell 3, a couple of new features. One, this supports battery powered and wired. Obviously it's always recommended if you can have it wired, but it uses the same battery as the stick-up cams, so you can literally just have one as a spare and charge and just basically remove the bottom of the bell and stick it in there to replace it. The main kind of key features, I think there's a slight improvement to the video quality, but there is improvement to the motion settings. So previously you had the ability to adjust the motion detection from 15 feet to 30 feet. And lots of people I knew that had a camera on a busier road could get quite frustrated with lots of, I guess, false alerting, because as cars drove past, it would obviously be detecting that motion. Now with this, you can have much better control over that to much closer, so 5 feet to 15 feet. So hopefully a lot more false positives and give you a lot more control over what you're doing. Also, this camera doorbell now supports 5 gigahertz wireless as well. So previously the Ring Doorbell only supported 2.4 gigahertz. Now, the advantage of 2.4 is it hasn't got much bandwidth, but is able to penetrate walls and things quite well and goes like a further distance. Whereas 5 gigahertz, not as much range, but you have more bandwidth, so it's going to give you improved image quality and also responds within the app faster as well. So again, it will depend on your Wi-Fi setup. Obviously having 5 gigahertz and where your access points are positioned, if you can benefit from that. An alternative obviously is if you don't want to upgrade your wireless network, is to look at one of the new Chime Pros that will enable you to extend the wireless network closer to your doorbell as well. And then one of the other things is the kind of 4-second preview feature that I think existed on some of the Pro wired doorbells, but not before on a battery powered device. So what this happens is it's kind of like some recording that's kind of always happening in black and white at a lower resolution, and so you can kind of see 4 seconds before the alert happened. So it kind of just gives you a little bit more visibility of what's happening around your environment. So those are kind of really the main features with this camera. You have the same kind of other features of two-way talk communication, night vision, real-time notifications and whatnot. And obviously some features are all standard. Other features you pay a bit extra for Ring Protect, which really makes sense if you've got more than one Ring device, in my opinion. So let's unbox this, see what we got inside, and then we will kind of do the setup here at the desk and then do the install and spend a little bit of time with it over the next few days and see kind of how well it works. So I think as usual, I'm always happy with kind of the Ring boxing. It's super clear, and it's kind of functional. Slide this off nice and easy. I've already taken the tabs off. One thing I liked about them, actually, you didn't have to use a knife, just had these little pull clips to remove them. So you can pop these open and see what we have inside. So kind of as we expect, a little bit of padding here on the top to protect the doorbell itself. So we'll just pop that out. So this is the doorbell. This bottom piece will be what we can remove. Yeah, so you can remove that, and this will enable us to obviously insert a battery inside there. So we'll come back to that in a moment. On the back there is mountings for wiring the doorbell. They're exposed, which I'm a little bit surprised by. I'm pretty sure on my current one they're not exposed like that, but we'll see when we take things apart to fit them. So let's pop that to one side right now. Underneath here we have the quick release battery pack. So as mentioned before, this is the same as in the stick-up cameras and stuff. I think these cost about £20 for a spare one. So I keep a spare one for my cameras. So it might be something worth considering, especially if you're not having it wired all the time. So we'll just pop that to one side as well. The rest of the box, we have the Always Home information pack. So we'll have a quick look in there, see what we have when we open it. Bring me the standard things that we'd expect. So one of the Ring stickers, the Video Doorbell 3 manual, some information on optional wedge mounts, which are actually here, so we'll talk about in a moment. Some product information, setup steps along with a QR code for this camera, and a bit of marketing for the Ring Protect thing. So as you can see in here, we have the different wedges. So I don't know if things have changed. With my original doorbell, these things didn't exist. You had to buy them as an option. So this kind of gives you the ability that if you have perhaps your front door is mounted at the top of the stairs or something, you can mount this wedge, which enables you to angle the camera down, or also alternatively to angle the camera up, which is kind of really handy. I don't think I need to use the wedges. The other one is this kind of angled wedge. So if you have your kind of doorbell in like a corner of your doorway, you can angle it in, so you can kind of have a better position of kind of what's happening on your path up to your house. So that's really handy. Again, I don't think I need either of those. A bit of card in the bottom isn't helping the stand out there. We have a little USB charging lead for the battery, and then in here we have the install tools. I actually quite like how this is all broken down. On some of the other Ring products, it's all just kind of chucked in the box, where I think it's pretty cool that they've kind of compartmentalized things a little bit. So inside here we have, oh, that's interesting, I wasn't expecting that, a different colorway for the doorbell. So that's like a satin black, I think. So we can obviously either have the silver or like a satin black. So that's pretty nice. I think I'll probably go with the black, but we'll see what it looks like when we come to do the install. Then we have, what we got here, there's a couple of wires in here, the extension wires, 10mm drill bit, the little mini spirit level, some of these little kind of wire kind of covers, so if you are using little extension wires, you can kind of wrap those around there. Yeah, and all the mounting kits, so that's pretty expected and straightforward. The Ring mixed screwdriver, so Phillips head on one side and the little Torx head on the other. So we're kind of familiar with that with our Ring products. And in here, some more mounting screws. I think you must use different mounting packs based on if you're using certain the wedges or anything. But that is the contents of the box. So yeah, as usual, I'm happy with kind of what Ring have got here in terms of boxing and how it all fits together. Now I'll tidy up a little bit. We will put a bit of charge into this battery. I think Ring recommend to have a full charge in there. Have a quick look in the manual and then get the app and get the doorbell set up. Okay, so I packed the majority of the box away, just obviously left the camera, doorbell, or the Ring Doorbell 3, the battery pack, the manual, and my phone. So the first thing to look at, I'm not going to remove the protective covers just yet, but as mentioned before, you can just kind of pull this up, and then got this little bit of card in here, which is where the battery goes, and let's just pull this out. So this is just a bit of information about the security screws. So basically, in the underneath of the protective cover, there's a little hole. On the bottom of the battery, there's also a hole with a screw thread in there. So you can use this to kind of screw things in with that Torx bolt to stop someone to be able to disconnect and steal the battery. If we look at the camera itself, I can see that obviously we have probably a reset or a pairing button just here, a little orange one. And I can see 1, 2, 3 IR lights across the bottom here. And there seems to be some sort of LED or some indicator just in the kind of bottom right hand corner of around where the lens is. So not quite sure what that's for. Maybe some of these things will kind of become a bit clearer when we get set up. Obviously on the back we've got the serial number and everything, and another QR code for scanning, which I'm sure we'll use for the setup. If we have a super quick look in the Ring Video Doorbell 3 manual, you've got some information about information for the charging. So if you're not familiar with these batteries, on the front there's two LEDs, one orange, one green. When you first plug it in, both orange and green will light up. When the orange goes out, it's just green. That means it's fully charged. So it shows you how you slip the battery in, which we'll look at in a moment. Information on setting up the Ring Doorbell app. So you have to download the app from the Apple iOS store or the Google Play Store on your smart device. Talks us through kind of how we set things up, test out the camera and whatever have you. Some information on installation heights. You've got to keep an idea on the camera field of view as well as the motion sensing kind of detection range as well. Maybe those IR obviously probably used for motion detection as well, is my assumption, but they recommend you have at least 4 feet from the floor. Talks about removing your existing doorbell and how to go about doing that. Also a bit of information there which I wasn't aware of, that's clearly changed since I had my original doorbell. This little hole here is where we can affix that spirit level to make sure that when we're kind of mounting it, we can get it nice and horizontally positioned. Then information about how we connect the screw anchors and the device to the wall. So there's basically 4 holes, one here, one here, one here, one here. So I'll have to see how, if I have to put new holes in over the original doorbell. And then some information about connecting the wires that are optional, because remember this is battery powered, but you really want it wired if you can. How to use wiring extension leads if you need to, and screwing it all together, installing the faceplate and securing it. So all pretty straightforward. I'm sure as with other Ring devices, that when you set this up and use the app, it's going to be pretty straightforward. So let's get the app started. I'll bring some information up on the screen somewhere so you can follow along with that, and then we should be good to go. So let's just get things working here. Okay, so I'm just clicking in the Ring app and set up a new device, and it asks me if I'd like to use Bluetooth. So sure, I'm not quite sure how this works, but we'll try it. This time I set up a doorbell, so we will select doorbell, and it asks us to scan that QR code, which we shall do now. Okay, it asks where we want to set it up, so it has my current address that's associated with my account, or I can obviously do a new location. We will continue. What would you like to name this video doorbell? We'll call it front door. That may be a slight conflict because I already have one called front door. I do have a Chime Pro, but that's nowhere near the front door. This is actually, the Chime Pro is in my cave where I'm based right now, and the front door's obviously in a separate building, so I'll say no, connect to home network. Right, now it's asking me to insert the included battery, so we'll do that as shown here. So with the metal clip facing upwards, we just push this in, it will click into place. You can see a bit of indication from the LEDs there, and now this is turned on. It's flashing blue, so I'll try and have that there and hopefully don't knock it over. Let's get things going. So wait for...
Your Ring device is in setup mode.
Okay, so it's in setup mode. So the light is spinning. Okay, it asks us to join the local network of the Ring device, which we will do now. Let's see how long this takes to pair and connect. I'm pretty sure I've got the 5 GHz network over here, but let's see what happens. Ask us to join that again. Okay, so now the doorbell is scanning for wireless networks in its nearby range, and we've asked us to connect that. Because I've already got Ring products and the app knows about my local network, it's obviously just prompted me to join my own network already. So I'm going to say yes, but if you're setting this up without any Ring devices before, you just choose your wireless network and go ahead. Now it's connecting to my network.
now connected. With Ring, you're always home.
Okay, so that, what was that, like 2 minutes or something? It was super fast to get connected. The app is still showing it as getting itself all set up, but I'm pretty impressed with that so far. Just wait for that to kind of finish doing its thing. Okay, so success, the doorbell is now ready to use. There may be, there's always some firmware updates. So Ring are pretty good at doing kind of continual firmware updates, so I'm not surprised that there's a firmware update for this. So this normally takes 5 or more minutes. The light ring will flash as an update installs. Once it stops flashing, wait about a minute for the doorbell to restart. Once it's ready, we'll take you to the next step. Thank you for your patience. So we'll just resume once this is finished doing the firmware update. Okay, so the firmware update has completed. It's taken us through to this final steps page. So there's lots more instructions that are going to help us with a few things. So physical installation, so we can go through the steps to do physical installation. We'll skip that for now. Information about connecting it to a chime, so we are going to wire your Ring doorbell to a power source. So I'll have a quick look at that actually to see what it says. Your Ring doorbell is not receiving power from your doorbell system. Make sure that it is. So I guess that's just checking that it's going to power and connect to the local chime. So we'll do that when we do the install, hopefully over the weekend. Let's just go back a little bit. So we'll just have to come back to that in a little bit. Okay, then this pre-roll feature. So Video Doorbell 3 Plus has pre-roll. So maybe this one doesn't have pre-roll, so I don't think it is the Plus edition. This feature extends recording videos to show you what happened before visiting your Ring doorbell and motion detected. To save battery life, pre-roll videos in black and white, low resolution and silent. Pre-roll only works when it's light outside, so does not. So basically, the infrared feature doesn't work with that. So that pre-roll is pretty interesting. So I guess it's a feature that's kind of constantly recording little sample snippets in lower quality, and then must sort of trigger a saving event when proper motion has been detected. Motion settings. So let's see what we have here. So are there any steps or hills leading up to my door? No, there are not. Does your door face a busy street? It's not a busy street, it's a private driveway, but obviously I do have a neighbour that drives past, but I'll say no for now. How far from your door should movement be monitored? I'm going to say 5 to 15 feet because I have a spotlight cam up there as well. So when we have enabled motion verification, this improves motion detection accuracy. Also, if motion stops before the end of recording, the video is trimmed so you only see the footage that matters. Let's try that out. Your motion settings have been set, so we can adjust the motion zones. Let's see what this will do. So really, this isn't really helpful until I get it out on the house. But you can see into the cave here. Obviously, it's taken like a snapshot of the area. You can see this blue area is kind of how far it's detecting, and I can increase and decrease that. So we'll just leave that as it was for now, and we'll mess around with that when we do the actual proper install. So skip for now. How often would you like motion? So I like to have it frequent because it's powered. I'm happy to have more frequent alerts. If you're just running from battery, you want to leave it as standard or light. In terms of shared users, these are other people in your house that you want to be alerted when someone rings the doorbell or whatever, so I can set that up later, but basically just need an email address, set other people up. Device linking, this I believe is where you can get your other Ring devices to work together with each other. So if
this video shows you how to use device linking to let your Ring products work together in a whole new way. Please note, to use the video recording features mentioned in this video, subscribe to a Ring Protect plan. One advantage of Ring is that you can control your Ring doorbells, cameras, and alarm systems from just one app. This makes it easy to manage your system and keep an eye on your home from anywhere. But did you know that your Ring devices can also talk to one another and protect you as a team? This is known as device linking. Here's how it works. Let's say you have a Ring video doorbell, a floodlight cam, and a spotlight cam. So far, so good. Without device linking, each of those devices works on its own. For example, your floodlight cam only turns its lights on when it detects motion. Your doorbell only starts recording when someone interacts with it. That's a good start, but device linking makes it even better. Now let's say someone walks toward your front door. Your video doorbell detects the motion, it notifies you and begins recording as usual. Then, device linking takes over. Because you've linked your floodlight cam and spotlight cam to your video doorbell, they immediately turn on their lights and begin recording as well. Now your Ring devices are able to react as a team. Now let's look at how you can set up these relationships between your devices. To start, open the Ring app and tap here to open the side menu. Then tap Devices. Select a device you want others to link to. This can be any Ring doorbell, camera, or alarm-based station. Next, tap Device Linking. In this next screen, you can choose what each of your other Ring devices does when your chosen device detects a security.
Okay, I'm not going to do anything with the device linking right now. I'm going to say I am done. So, let's see what happens. So, move my hand. We will do a doorbell test, see what happens. Okay, so that reacted pretty quickly. I'm opening it up, see how long it takes. Wow, that was really fast. And there's the pre-roll in the corner there, so you can see my hand moving around. That's pretty cool. I'm quite impressed by that pre-roll actually. Cool, and let's see, so probably gonna get some feedback now, but so I'll probably do it quite quickly, but testing. Okay, and if we answer it, testing, 1, 2, 3. So I was really impressed actually with how quickly that loads. I'll try again just to activate live view. So ready, steady, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So about 4 seconds. So I don't know, it's the access point for here is downstairs in the garage, but the actual real-time video is actually not too badly delayed. So I'm actually pretty impressed with kind of how that's looking so far. So what we'll do is I'll come back to the video hopefully tomorrow when it's light, and hopefully if it's not raining. It's quite late right now, and we'll look at getting this installed and then do a few more tests. But yeah, so far I'm quite impressed with the Ring Doorbell 3, how easy it was to set up, and that pre-roll feature is actually pretty funky. But it'd be more interesting to see how it works over the next few days, like with Postman and different things that happen. So good stuff. Okay, so we're at the front now. I've turned off the power to the original Ring Doorbell here, so the chime is disabled. Just means there's not really any power going to the wires behind here. It's like arachnophobia here though. There's so many spiders and dead moths and all sorts of stuff. Definitely need to give it a clean at some point. Just to remind myself how to take off the original Ring Doorbell, and then we should be good to go. So I'll do that and then we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so well done if you made it this far in the video. I try and do these videos that are kind of detailed and comprehensive. I hope that it works. But yeah, so I had the Ring Doorbell 3 Plus installed now for must be 2 or 3 weeks, I think, and it's really good. So obviously my comparison is to the original Ring Doorbell, which I didn't have any complaints about. So the main things that I'm liking about the Ring Doorbell Plus is, one, that support for 2.4 and 5 gigahertz wireless network connectivity. Mine is kind of at the bordering range, so it does kind of seem to switch between the two, but works pretty flawless. Definitely does get connectivity quicker for you know, the live view and stuff. That pre-roll is actually pretty handy. It's kind of cool to be able to see kind of what happened leading up to it. And the other thing that I have noticed is a lot less, actually none, think about it, no kind of false motion alerts. So I used to have, sometimes the doorbell would go off because the leaves of the bushes were moving or something, or the sun. That isn't happening at all anymore. So much less frequent motion alerts. Every motion alert is much better. I think the fact that there's that person recognition thing helps as well. I guess a little side thing, a little bit sad, is the foxes don't longer set it off anymore, so I don't have videos of foxes rummaging around from the morning. I like that style of the different colours. I like the darker colour. But yeah, it works really well. I think it is a worthwhile upgrade over the original Ring Doorbell. Obviously I haven't got a Ring Doorbell 2 to compare it to, so not quite sure what the differences will be, but yeah, it definitely seems to have much better motion alerting. It does seem a little bit faster, which I think, again, back to the faster Wi-Fi network stuff. The only thing that I didn't like about it really, I guess, is a bit annoying that the mounting mechanism was different to the original one, so I had to drill extra holes. And I quite like on the original Ring Doorbell how the kind of mounting with the wired piece is kind of mounted to the wall, and then you mount this on top, whereas it's a bit fiddly to try and get the doorbell kind of mounted with the extra holes in there. But pretty handy, I guess, to have the battery swap out. Again, that's not really a feature I'm going to utilise that much. It definitely is more power hungry than the original Ring Doorbell, so I do notice when I look, if there has been a day where there's been quite a lot of motion at the front from packages and deliveries and people going in and out, the doorbell battery does seem to have depleted more than the old internal battery of the original Ring Doorbell, but it soon kind of fully charged itself back up to 100% again overnight, so not a problem or anything. But yeah, hope this video kind of helped and gave you some insight into the features of the Ring Doorbell 3 and maybe help you make some decisions of you to buy one. Please leave comments down below if you've got a Ring Doorbell, what you think about it, if you're going to consider buying one of these, and if you did buy one, again, what was your feedback? Do you like it? Was it worth the money? Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter? And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.